Good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today, first thing is to check to see if the water is holding after doing a flood fill inside the cistern. Now, I started putting the water inside the cistern on Sunday. This is Wednesday. So I started on Sunday. It took over 2 days to fill it up. It's a slow fill because I was using a little float valve inside it, and I found out it wasn't going fast enough. I wasn't getting it filled quite fast enough. So what did I do? I got this other hose back here that's normally on the back of the house, and I supplemented to the actual float fill inside there, and we seemed to get it all the way up to where we needed. I think we got it up, let's see, it was maybe Monday night, I think around Monday night, and here it is Wednesday, so it's had one full day, all day Tuesday, and we're into Wednesday right now. So I know what the level was. Let me go down and check and see if it's holding. Now it appears that over the last 24 hours it's actually holding. Now I will tell you, at the very beginning when I first put it in, I did see a little bit of a drop. But the team from VPCO, when they explained to me how the waterproofing works, they said when you first put water in for the flood test, expect to see somewhat of a drop inside there, and then after about 24 hours it will stabilize. And that's kind of what it's doing right now. But we're going to monitor it for the probably the next 24 to 48 hours to verify. Now what I did this morning, I also went in to the little float valve inside there, and I turned the water going off inside there. It shouldn't have been working because the float valve is in the off position because it's full. It's way above the float valve. But just to verify that there is no way that water's getting, we haven't had any rain, we haven't had any additional water put in there, to make sure that everything is working properly and we can securely say we have a waterproof cistern. I went ahead and turned the water off to make sure there's no leaks on that float valve. Anyway, today we have an interesting episode. As you know, normally we have people that come to visit. We always have visitors here at Villa Feliz. As a matter of fact, we got some visitors coming in, I think, this Friday as well. So we always have visitors coming here to Villa Feliz. And we're doing a little bit of a switch up. We're actually going to see a couple of our subscribers. We're going to their house today. I don't know if you remember, but if you have an opportunity to go back, oh, look at that. Anyway, if you have an opportunity to go back to a very, very early episode, and probably the first 20 episodes or something like that, back in 2017, I'm going to say March of 2017, our very first visitor here at Villa Feliz, which it wasn't Villa Feliz at the time because there was nothing there. There was barely a hole inside the ground. But we did have the Bahay Kubo back here, and we had a Bahay Kubo time with our visitors. So today we are going to visit our friends Henry and Melissa, who actually built their own house, and they were trying to get us out to their house during the build, but we were never able to make it. Now their house is completed, and Henry and Melissa want to show you what they did, so we can kind of do some comparisons. Well, this has been a long intro again, and I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. Then we'll get into today's episode. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, I gotta tell you, today's episode, I'm going to start off with that orange, those orange seeds right there. Now that orange came from this tree, the Sunkist orange tree, this tiny tree right here. Now, you know, we've been showing the 3 oranges that have been growing on what I didn't think would even grow oranges at this early of a stage of its life. But what I did was I took the seeds from the first orange that we had for breakfast this morning. I got to tell you, the orange was so sweet. It's just like when we go shopping at a grocery store in the U.S. and we get like what's considered maybe navel oranges, but the skin wasn't as thick as a navel orange. But the juice was extremely sweet, and it was a great tasting orange. I was so impressed by this particular orange that we had this morning. I decided to save some of the seeds here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the seeds dry out, and then I'm going to try to plant them and hopefully get seedlings, and then I'm going to take some graft cuttings off of that Sunkist orange plant right there, and I'm going to try to propagate and make some more Sunkist oranges. It impressed me so much. I want to keep that same variety, so we'll see. It'll be years, but we'll see if we're successful with that later on. Now, there's something else I want to mention, and I've got a question for you. If you have grown mango trees in your yard or on your farm, I have a question about something I found out yesterday morning when I walked back here in the backyard. Now, this kind of shocked me. When I got out here yesterday, I saw all these mango leaves. And these are brand new. This is a brand new push. And all these leaves, it's almost like somebody had come with scissors and cut each one of these only on the new growth, not down here on the existing growth, but all new one. It's just sheared off, and as you can see, they're down there on the ground. Now, have you ever seen a bird or an insect or something actually do something like this? I am perplexed. I don't know what has caused this, and I was so sad because these were so beautiful. And I had all this new growth that I've been waiting forever for this new growth to come out on this specific variety of mango. So if anybody knows what might have caused this, please put that in your comment section today. Well, we just got here. We just arrived. But as you can see over our shoulder, it is coming down. The storm, the sky just opened up. Well, anyway, we're going to go inside and we're going to say hi to our friends Melissa and Henry.
Yes.
Hi. Come in. Hurry up.
Well, anyway, if you remember correctly, if you go back to our earliest videos, these are the guys. These guys came to visit Villa Feliz before Villa Feliz was Villa Feliz. They came to visit us when Villa Feliz was Baje Cubo. That's all it was, and that was March of 2017. Yes. March of 2017. So I want to reintroduce you here to both Henry and Melissa, and this is their wonderful house. And hopefully we get an opportunity in this rain kind of stuff so that we can get some aerial videography of the outside with the drone, because we brought the drone with us today. Well, anyway, it's so good to see you guys again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. That's a long time.
So anyway, I don't know if you remember, but Henry is actually from Norway. Right?
Correct. Yes.
So anyway, Henry, why the Philippines?
Not why. It just happened when I met Melissa about 6-7 years ago. And of course she didn't want to stay in Singapore. It's too expensive also. And Norway, I would never go back to Norway. I never lived there in my grown-up life. So Philippines was the place.
Well, Henry sent me how many? Tons of invites, right? We've had so many invites, but we've been so busy with building or schedules conflicted, so we never did get an opportunity to stop here. Do you have a name for your house, or is it just the house?
No, we don't have any.
at the house here, and this is this isn't Malvar or Spalette?
No, this is Magapi-Balete.
And you should see, as we were driving up here, you remember last week we went to Taal Volcano and Taal Lake, and they actually have a beautiful view from the street, but we're going to look and see if we can actually see it from upstairs. I think you probably can from.
Oh yeah,
it look like
but not much of Taal. Not lake you can see a little bit, but not Tagaytay. It's too much rain.
And maybe not quite as much today with all this rain right now, but we'll see. We'll do this. So anyway, Henry, do me a favor. Will you give us a tour?
This is the main hall coming in. Supposed to be my billiard hall here, but no billiard table yet.
So it looks here. It's like a TV room. This was going to be a billiard room.
It is.
Maybe it is going to be.
It is going to be a billiard room.
This is your man cave here.
Yes,
this is your man cave. And you've got quite a view. Look at this view around here. And if we can get some pictures of the garden as we were driving up, there's a beautiful, like a kubo back here with some gardens back here. So we'll try to get that with the drone if this ever clears up.
Okay, just outside here you have a lanai with a swimming pool. So this is for our barbecue and small informal gathering.
What a beautiful pool. So how often do you take a dip in the pool?
Nowadays, very seldom. It's too cold.
It's too cold. It is kind of cool,
It is cold,
especially
yeah.
right now with
There
this
is no
rain
sun,
coming
you know.
down.
It's, our dining is here on the right. Okay, this is Melissa's place.
This is Melissa's.
Melissa's
It's
place.
your place, Melissa. You have to showcase it. You have an island in here.
Yeah.
And
So we got what we need. But no, you see in the dining we didn't put the aircon. We have so much windows and very seldom we use a dining table. We eat here, you know.
And I bet being this close to the water, you get nice breeze here all the time.
Yeah,
And you're really elevated. This is really elevated on this lot.
And inside there we have a dirty kitchen,
Dirty
washroom, helper's room, toilet, and an area for drying clothes.
Okay.
And down in the basement, you can go out to the cars if you park them in the garage. And we have an extra bedroom downstairs on this side.
Okay.
Come, go upstairs.
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
Come.
Good. I'll follow you.
Okay. This is the big upstairs hall. We have our TV room is basically here. We are using this all the time.
This is a huge room, Henry. This is huge.
And then we have another sitting group in front.
Anyway, well, standing right here, we lost electricity, which is kind of typical to what goes on here in the Philippines. So we're waiting. Henry has a generator, he said, so we're waiting on the generator to kick on. Anyway, you see the emergency light up there. Henry went downstairs to see if he can get the generator to kick in. It was supposed to kick in automatically, but it didn't.
Okay, we are on generator now. Then on this side we have the two girls' room, Lyra and Sai. Sai's room is here. She's the youngest. She's 16. Okay, this is Lyra's room. She's 18, and they have a common bathroom between the rooms.
Like a Jack and Jill bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And on the other side, we have our bedroom. We have a guest bedroom on the left, the bathroom.
They've got all these neat lights in all these different rooms.
Yeah. And
guest bathroom there.
yes.
The master bedroom.
Melissa. Oh, okay, just go in. That is my mother-in-law with Jasmine Joy. Jasmine Joy.
And you have a walk-in closet and a bathroom in there. Nice. You got all kind of electronics going on in here.
Yeah.
It's like Cape Canaveral. It's like this
no.
Space Command Center here.
This is when you get old, you have electronics and nothing else.
And by the way, Henry and Melissa had a baby just recently. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, after all the hard work, maybe we deserve some coffee. What do you think?
That sounds,
and cake?
coffee sounds
huh?
great. Yeah.
Okay, we go down.
Great.
Wow.
Tilapia. Oh, I love tilapia.
You know, kalamismis.
So anyway, we're going to take the opportunity. It looks like the rain's starting to slow down a bit here. Hopefully it'll get clear enough where we can take the drone out and do some shots around the house here as well. So what we're going to do while we're sitting here and enjoying a little bit of coffee and some desserts. What did we pick up today? You picked up something?
Cassava cake.
Cassava cake. And we got that in Lipa before we came over. And
This is good.
and Melissa, what is this?
Macaroni salad.
Macaroni salad. It's got pineapple in there?
Yes.
I like anything with pineapple inside there. So while we're sitting here enjoying some dessert and some coffee here, what I wanted to do, I wanted to focus on some of the build because Henry and Melissa were building this house simultaneously while we were building the house at Villa Feliz. As a matter of fact, Henry sent me some, I don't know if it was Facebook messages or text messages, I'm not sure, but you were sending me some messages every now and then, and I got some pictures at the very beginning when you first started doing some.
Yeah, we was building, and we started.
So what I thought would be really interesting if we could sit here and we could compare notes as far as challenges, because this is all about, the channel is all about building and DIY kind of projects around the house. But since you were building at the same time that we were building over there, maybe we can look at some similarities, some things that didn't go the way we planned, and what we did, or specifically you, I want to know about, because everybody knows about our project over there. They've seen day by day, they've been following, they know. Let's talk about your build here from the very beginning. How did you go about first selecting a lot? You talked a little bit about this, selecting a lot, and then how did you go about selecting a plan to build this house?
No, the plan, we were drawing up how we wanted the house, more or less. And then we talked to an engineer, and we were working out the plans together, the three of us. But what we have found out later is a small design fault that I would have or should have thought of. All the excess water and toilets, the dimension of the piping, I feel is too small.
Yeah, that's typical. We had the same problem where I had to. Of course, we had a plumber that we had to release because there was a lot of problems with our plumber. So our contractor took over the plumbing responsibilities, and it's hard to be a jack of all trades and master all those trades. And what you'll find in the Philippines is that you'll have your contractor, to save money, he will take on a lot of the other responsibilities. They should sub out to a professional that he'll do it himself. But we had the same problem.
But mainly plumbing problems. And we even had a leak 3-4 months after we moved in.
Where?
Upstairs and we had to start opening up to find out where it was from.
Break the concrete?
Yes.
Go inside the concrete? Yeah.
And of course, if you're not there when they have a drain, the drain is not sitting properly, and all this. We had problem with, since it's a big house, to get enough tiles for one type, and all this. Same when we started to make out our trimmings, and all this. We did the upstairs, and then will come no more. You have to order, and it takes 3 months, or whatever, That's a typical problem here in Philippines.
You were talking also about, which is a good tip, is if you're going to get tile and you're not going to use it for a while, if you're supplying your stock prior to a build and you like that tile, which is what you did. You bought a lot of it, but you didn't inspect it until they actually opened the boxes and started putting it down, and then you found a lot of damage on tile inside there. And it exceeded, you exceeded, and you said it was 30 days that they had for a return?
Yeah, so
always inspect.
I have to buy extra, But how, for a room like this, how to inspect all that and store it back again,
During the build, any other...
One thing, we have a problem with temperature change. Steel, aluminium, it is joined together. There's no overlap on the drain gutters. So it doesn't move. It bends and then bang! We have noise.
You hear it?
Yeah, you can.
Expansion?
Yeah. Early morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock. Not so much now in rainy season, but when it's hot and all this. So that we have some problems.
We had something similar to that. We have the secret gutter. It's built inside the roof, about 1 meter up. And I did the inspection during the installation of that, and I saw where there were some problems where they didn't have them matched together, and that was a disaster for a secret gutter, because if you have any leaks in a secret gutter, it doesn't just expand and make noise. It also leaks inside. It would leak inside the house. So we had to do a correction with that as well. So what is your favorite feature of the kitchen?
I think island we use all the time. Island we are using. We are very seldom using this dining room. We are eating breakfast, lunch, dinner at the island. So.
I gotta agree with you. My favorite feature in our kitchen is the island, because I use the island as a work center. I work at the kitchen, inside the kitchen. And then when we don't have a regular sit-down meal, like recently we've been kind of sitting, Ness has this Japanese low table inside there, so we sit in the evening time and watch television. We eat in the living room, but then we have the dining room. But it's really convenient for breakfast and for lunch meals to sit at that island. The island is multifunctional, and when we have guests over, most of the time we sit around the island. We all sit inside the kitchen. Yeah, it's beautiful. The house is beautiful. We saw it. We actually shot by it. We didn't think, that can't be Henry and Melissa's house. That house is way too big. When we were driving there, you saw us.
I saw it, so I was just going down. Because I knew when you come down to the church, you realize it was too far.
And then everything after is a really tiny houses when you go by. I said, well, those are too small, but that one's too big. I said, and I know
that must be Melissa's, the big one.
Yeah. Then when you told me how many kilometers you were from the tollway interchange, I said this has to be it. So we came back, and it's beautiful. The house it's really beautiful, and the layout's really nice, and the openness. You're not bumping into anything in this house inside. You could play football inside this house. We could fly the drone inside this house. I think we could fly the drone, and the obstacle avoidance wouldn't even go off, because your ceilings, specifically, especially on the next floor. How many feet or meters?
It's nearly 4 meters, 4 something in the middle. It's different areas have different height. This one is 3.4 or whatever.
Well, it's the day after our visit to Melissa and Henry's place out near Balete. And what a great visit we had with those guys yesterday. We came in last night and it was late. We actually spent, what I learned, and I need to put on my calendar, is if you ever travel in Lipa, never travel in Lipa on the first Wednesday of the month, because it literally took us 2 hours to get from one side of Lipa to the other side of Lipa, which normally takes us about 15 minutes to get through the center of Lipa. It took us 2 hours.
Because there is a novena for the Virgin Mary in Redemptorist Church, which is along the way.
Yeah, and it just blocks everything, and it's a huge traffic. So just remember that tip: don't travel if you plan on travel to Lipa. Don't travel on the first Wednesday of the month. So we did make it back here. We were concerned. We saw when we were at Henry and Melissa's place that there was lots and lots of rain. You saw all the rain that we got there, but we also watched it from the CCTV. Here we were watching Villa Feliz get pounded by rain, and we happened to leave a lot of our windows open. But I will tell you, if you are designing and making plans to build a house, those awning style of windows that seem to be very popular these days, they're worth their weight in gold. Around zero of the windows that have the awning style that go out like that, we had no problem with any water getting in. But the windows like the one in the dining room and the one upstairs for our bedroom that have the sliding glass, there's a sliding that doesn't open, we had a little bit of water that accumulated on the floor. Not too much, we were okay with that. But something to consider when you're designing your house. But we had no problem with water here. There was a lot of water that fell here yesterday.
Rain or shine. Do not open. Don't leave the house with open windows.
So anyway, there was a lot of water that fell here, but this community is built so well that it's the elevation and the sewer system is so good. We had no problem with any water setting up here. So anyway, we're going to close for today. I want to get this video edited and uploaded to you. You might see that the drone footage is a little bit extended on this video right here, but when I was reviewing some of the video from the drone footage, it was so beautiful, and I love to be able to see the surrounding countryside, because the Philippines is absolutely gorgeous. The different vegetation that you'll see, especially if you're anywhere near around like Taal Lake, any place that has some natural resources such as a lake. It's incredible. So I did add some extra video of the drone footage. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. It gives you a kind of an indication, if you build in the Philippines, the different varieties, how different people style, build, design their houses. And that's kind of what this channel is all about. It's about building and getting an opportunity to see how the other person thinks, and they do the design, which might help you with your upcoming design of your house if you're building as well. Well, let me go ahead and get this video completed, edited, and uploaded for your viewing entertainment. Well, if you enjoyed yesterday's video, please give us a thumbs up. Please share it. And if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream Heart in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. I think it's on this side. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right, and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.